today's video, we're going to see not only how to build wealth, but how to maintain it as well, which is something that so many people aren't able to do. Let's watch the video and I'll give my thoughts on the back end.
Man worth $150 million. Lives like he forgot he's rich. While many NBA stars celebrate massive contracts with luxury cars, designer clothes, and million-dollar mansions, Mikhael Bridges became famous for something completely different: walking his dog, eating Chipotle, living quietly. The strange part isn't that he can afford luxury, it's that he rarely seems interested in it. The more money he makes, the more ordinary he looks. So, what makes a man with $150 million choose a life that feels so normal? To understand the reasoning behind such a paradoxical lifestyle, we need to let go of the idea that living normally is synonymous with deprivation. Bridges isn't broke, and he's not forcing himself into an ascetic lifestyle just for show. When he played in Brooklyn, he lived in Tribeca, one of the most expensive and elite neighborhoods in New York. With a multi-million-dollar income, he could absolutely splurge on the most luxurious pleasures. But Bridges chooses to manage his life in a very unique way, which GQ's profile once described as unbelievably normal. And for Bridges, that's a compliment. Bridges, the Brooklyn Nets' best player, is, by his own admission and my personal observation, unbelievably normal. He takes that as a compliment, and, in fact, says that's his favorite one to receive. He actively separates the title NBA player from his true self. He explained the idea plainly. So, I just try to tell the world, listen bro, I'm just like you, I just play a sport. You know what I'm saying? I have friends, I joke around, I just play a sport and make some money. He doesn't feel the pressure to turn every expense into a declaration of wealth. While many other stars use money to assert their ego through supercars or million-dollar vacations, Bridges' happiness revolves around Amazon orders.
Now, what's so, I was gonna say crazy, but what's so special about this? Shout out to Mikhael Bridges. I like him he's a good NBA player, and he doesn't play for Brooklyn anymore. He's a newly crowned NBA champion with the New York Knicks, which doesn't surprise me because someone who works as consistently as he does, and also at the same time has the smarts, it seems, based on what we're talking about in today's video, it makes sense why that sort of person will be part of a championship culture. So it's so crazy, and I love the part that was just said just not too long ago. He separates his NBA identity from everything else, and this is what so many people, especially people who make so much money, cannot do. You know, there's figures and data that always comes out, right? Most, like 95% of NBA players are broke 5 years after leaving the league, or like similar numbers with the NFL as well, right? Why is that? Because so many of these individuals make so much money, but they stay financially illiterate. They stay financially dumb, and someone who's financially dumb isn't going to stay isn't going to be able to hold on to money for a long period in time, right? So the fact that and what's so funny about this is he played for Brooklyn, that's his most recent NBA team, and then obviously now the New York Knicks. So the reason I'm saying he's been in New York, and most people know that New York is an expensive place to live. There's been stuff recently talking about how the New York renting prices, they've capped it, right? So a lot of billionaires are leaving New York. The rents are crazy, as they say, in New York. But think about it. He's living in a very nice place in New York, but he's still presenting himself, carrying himself as an ordinary person. Why? Because he seems like a smart individual who's not just thinking about, oh, I'm balling, I'm flossing now. He's like, no, I'm going to use this money to last not only for my life, but potential children's lives once I'm gone. Isn't it funny that they keep talking about $100 million, right? I'm sure he's probably made more than that, and he'll probably get another contract soon, or whenever his contract's finishing, which is going to be another decent contract. But isn't it funny because in recent years, we've heard a lot of this stuff. We heard Odell Beckham Jr., we've heard other people talk about, 100 million, it's not really that much. Stop the cap. Who's really believing that nonsense? If you are wise with your investments, that money could last you 5 generations easily. I was going to say 10, but I'm trying to be a little bit nice. That sort of money could last you 5 generations if you just did 1 or 2 things wisely and didn't do silly stuff. If you're going to go and spend $10 million in a year when you've made $10 million or when you've made $11 million, then okay. But even still, if you've got an extra $1 million, that can still go a long way. Again, if you use it wisely. It's crazy, but I always say they need to broadcast more stuff like this. Most people will look at someone like Mikhael Bridges and other NBA players and other like super rich athletes who do this sort of stuff, and they'll ridicule them. They'll be like, this is a fool. What's he doing? But the players that are being silly with their money, who are spending it lavishly and stupidly now, and then in 3 or 4 years are going to be broke, they're going to be the same people that are ridiculing those individuals and saying, oh, well, he's dumb. Why did you waste all that money? Make it make sense. If you want to become more prosperous, you need to manage what you have right now financially well. And not only on top of that, you need to begin doing things which is going to multiply it, which is going to make it perpetual. So regardless of if he's still playing on the NBA court, which he'll probably do for a good, he could easily probably go for another 5, maybe 10 years. He seems like that sort of player and that sort of guy. Not because he's going to be the star of the show, right? Like he was in Brooklyn or anything along those lines. He'll be a consistent player who will continue to give you good production, and that will continue to grow into his older years. Then he'll be just like a vet, as they say. He'll be an older player who shows the younger players how to live a consistent life, how to take this seriously, how to come to work every single day, value the opportunity that you have, and also at the same time not blow your money. This is the kind of player you want in the NBA to be a friend, but also to look up to as he gets older and you become into the league and you're younger. Let's keep going and see what else he's going to say.
Essential items for his dog Sonny, the four-legged son he adores. You can clearly see this difference in how he flexes his life. Instead of showing off expensive designer outfits, he introduces the items he can't live without, including those Air Force sneakers he always wears with every outfit. Or when talking about his inseparable headphones, Mikhael doesn't brag about the price. He says,
some Bose headphones, probably one of the best headphones I've had, just with noise cancellation. Makes life easier.
The peak of this normal life is an eating habit that has sent the internet into a frenzy. No Wagyu, no Michelin. Bridges admitted to GQ that he has a habit of eating at Chipotle, the Mexican fast food chain.
I eat this every day, and it's been about, how many years since I've been eating Chipotle? Since 2013, 14, so about 10 years. Still been on it heavy to this day. I have friends and family that teases me a little bit about it. It's too fire to not have it every single time. I'd love to take a bite.
I would just assume he's probably not married, and I guess whenever he gets married, that will probably change. Pretty certain that will probably change, but it depends what he's eating. Obviously, as long as it's not too crazy. But he is a professional athlete, and I'm not saying that justifies him potentially eating fast food every single day. But people that are active, like a professional athlete, can obviously eat less healthier food and still function. Obviously, as he stops playing, if he stops working out and doing that kind of stuff, he's gonna have to take his food intake more seriously. But again, Chipotle has decent food, so it's not like he may be eating good food from Chipotle, but at the same time, it's more likely because he's not married. When he's married and things settle down a bit more, and then he has children, all that kind of stuff. If he goes down that route anyway, then it'll be more homey, like, and stuff like that. I'm not saying they wouldn't order takeout, or maybe, like, I was gonna say maybe they have a personal chef, but you don't seem like the kind of person that would do that. But maybe not. We'll see. But let's keep going.
Okay. Fire. So my bowl order, like your white rice, no beans, double chicken, medium and mild salsa, corn and lettuce.
This habit isn't a trend that popped up last month or last year. It's been maintained consistently for a decade.
I don't know why he doesn't get the
Every item
beans
he
done.
buys, every meal he chooses, stems from practical needs rather than the urge to flex. But here is the craziest paradox about Mikhael Bridges. While he is busy ordering his $10 burrito bowl, the New York Knicks were busy putting together a $150 million package just to secure his future. When the Knicks put pen to paper on that 4-year extension, they weren't just buying a player, they were investing in one of the most reliable assets in America. When the Knicks locked Bridges into a 4-year, $150 million extension, they weren't just paying for a player, they were paying for peace of mind. The contract is the most ironclad proof of his status. According to multiple reports, it includes flexible clauses like player options and trade kickers, perks exclusively reserved for the top stars in the league. To acquire him, the Knicks had to accept trading up to 5 first-round picks along with many other assets. If he were just an average player, he would never come with such a hefty price tag, and an average player couldn't become the strategic puzzle piece that decides the fate of a championship-hungry team like the Knicks.
Which obviously this is clearly made before they won the championship. So this just New York Knicks winning the championship just emphasizes all of this stuff that they're saying in this even more. This is why they're willing to pay him $42.5 million a year over 4 years, because they see the type of character he is. They see the stuff he does on a day-to-day basis. I think he's in first place now, most consecutive games without missing, right? He continues to play games. He's reliable. And this is contrary. It's contrarian thinking to many players in the league. A lot of players play 60 games, 50 games, 45 games. He's made a name for playing 82 games every single year. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's like, yeah, he wants to do that for the rest of his career, but I'm sure he's actively thinking in his mind he's going to try and do this. And it'll be interesting to see, right? 42 million a year. He's obviously got more money now. Based on the stuff we're seeing in this like little mini documentary which is talking about him, some people will get lax at that point and be like, oh, I've made it. He doesn't seem like that kind of person. So I wouldn't be surprised if he continues to maintain the level of discipline and respectfulness that he's shown. Sounds like he came from a good household.
In his first season with the Knicks, 2024-25, Bridges started all 82 games, averaging 17.6 points per game on 50% shooting. That was the year the Knicks made their first Eastern Conference Finals in 25 years. And Bridges was a big reason they got there, playing both ends of the floor every single night. The consistency paid off in the ultimate way. In the 2025-26 season, while other stars rested or faded, Bridges kept showing up. His Iron Man mentality became the backbone of a team that made history, helping the New York Knicks capture the 2026 NBA championship, their first title in over 50 years. He proved that consistency isn't just about being on the floor. It's about being the steady anchor that holds a championship team together. According to an article on the official NBA website, Coach Mike Brown praised him. Mikhael during a stretch of the ballgame was huge for us on both ends of the floor. According to Sports Illustrated, Bridges, 29, is one of the better two-way players in the NBA, providing a sound effort on offense and defense. Bridges earned a lot of praise from Brown on the type of player he can be on the defensive end of the floor.
So guys, just think about it like this, right? This is the kind of thing you want to model. I'm always going to say to you, model excellence, model people who are doing or have the stuff that you desire, because that's the best way for you to get those sorts of things. So he's the kind of NBA player people coming into the league should aspire to be like. Not the people who are flashy for a season or are flamboyant and are spending lavishly but are broke 2 years after their last contract ends. If you liked today's video, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and as always, don't forget to react righteously. God bless.